Welcome, everyone, to Intensity Broadcasting, tonight's coverage of the Indy Zone ARCA Series. Tonight, these ARCA cars will be taking on the historic Wilkesboro Speedway for 125 laps of racing action. I'm your announcer for tonight's event. My name is @ManMoose, and I'm excited about every second of tonight's ARCA coverage. Also joining me tonight is fellow iRacer and our lead broadcaster for the remainder of this season, Jacob. There is always so much excitement, whether it's opening day in baseball or the NFL kickoff or even Speedway. When the genesis of a new season is beginning, I mean, there's just so much excitement surrounding this first race.
Most definitely. All these drivers have been ready for the opener. And tonight, I've already got about 45 cars signed in for the main event. So, a little bit of incentive out on top here today.
What a field we have. 46 cars are registered into the session. Like you mentioned, 6 of them that 46 qualify will be going home. So qualifying is very, very important. You need to be on your A game, and you don't want to wind up in the bottom. Right now, we see in practice, Caleb Hall is on the top of the board. He hopped into the chat and said, showed up only to win practice. Turn down the engine volume. Hopefully that should be a little bit better. But Caleb Hall said, showed up to win practice only. He is doing just that. He is 600ths faster than second place Tanner Bethea. Then we see third is Mike Alexander. Fourth is Jackson Crowder. And rounding out your top 5, that is Peyton Howell. So again, 46 drivers in the field. This is the first time that In the Zone Racing has ever done an ARCA series, and honestly, for good reason, because these ARCA cars are new to the iRacing platform. They were introduced in 2025. Can't remember exactly which update, but they are new for this year. So this may be a lot of these drivers' first time piloting these new ARCA cars. I mean, I literally just bought them today, so some unfamiliar territory maybe to the super late models or the late models they may used to be running in these series. And so far, looks like some drivers getting things figured out quick. Others maybe have some more to learn if they want to work their way up the speed charts.
Well, and sticking true to the ARCA, kind of brand and stuff, they are more so a recycled Gen 6 car, with a little bit, of their unique flair for what is today's ARCA chassis and whatnot. But it is very reminiscent of that Gen 6 era of NASCAR when they had them in the Cup Series.
Yeah, these are definitely fun. I definitely want to try to race them myself at some point and to see how they feel compared to the previous generation of ARCA cars that we had, which were more akin to the Gen 4 cars. And they were definitely fun. They were certainly a handful, so I wonder how much comparable they are maybe to, again, the super late models or the late model or the actual late model stock cars here on the platform. We just have a few more moments left of practice just to give these drivers one last opportunity to get things dialed in, and we will get started with qualifying. Again, very, very important. Track position with 40 cars on the racetrack. Track position is very, very important, and it would definitely make winning the pole a whole lot more sweeter. If you win the pole and you're competing against 14 other cars, okay, that's pretty cool. But if you win the pole and you're competing against 39 other cars, or I guess in this case, the 45 other cars, it's going to make it a whole lot sweeter, because it looks like we now have 47 registered. So what a field we are about to have. And I'm sure we will find out very quickly who is looking to start off the season strong, who will establish themselves as the championship favorites this season. We have a very cool schedule. Might go over that a little bit later. But we all start off at North Wilkesboro. And the very esteemed short track made its return very recently to racing action, hosting the NASCAR All-Star Race. I know this is the 1987 version. It doesn't take into account the recent repave that SMI and NASCAR has done. That'd be a neat addition maybe in a future update. All right, we are officially underway for qualifying. We should see drivers hitting the racetrack at any moment. As we see here, there is Brody Weileman out of Stewartsville, New Jersey. He's an ITZR Rookie of the Year and an above-average bowler. Dylan Schreiner there as well in the 92. Drivers will get 2 laps to set their best lap time. As soon as they cross that start-finish line after exiting pit road, they will be on the clock. See Eric Myers, South Carolina native, in the orange and silver ARCA car. And you see those kinds of ARCA cars a lot. That's the beauty of ARCA, is there are some smaller teams, so they may not have big sponsorship logos on the hood, but they're still out there competing.
And sometimes those are the ones that can definitely shock the field and steal it. So I'm sure there's going to be some surprises here tonight. They're going to have to keep our eyes peeled for a lot of different things here.
So far, Bill Tomer is on the top of the board with a 19.29. He is 200ths ahead of Weileman, with Elliot Carlson in third. Larson Parker is in fourth, and Matthew Barkhouse was in fifth, and there goes Larson Parker on his second lap to the top of the board with a 19.21. That puts him now 400ths ahead of Bill Tomer. Eric Myers has made his way to third, Dylan Schreiner fourth, Elliot Carlson in fifth. And still many more to go. There is Aaron Ward on the racetrack in the 99. A little bit of a throwback. I believe that was Lake Speed that drove the family TV race car, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong. Got David Hill.
I want to say it was Musgrave.
Oh, Musgrave. Yes, the 16 car.
Yep. Yeah, Ted Musgrave.
Ted Musgrave. Speaking of,
I remember having that one as a Hot Wheel.
yeah, that was a neat paint scheme. And speaking of Ted, we have Tad Douglas. He is third on the board now with a 19.26 400ths, and he will jump up to the top of the board. As I say that, he wasn't up there for long. Eric Tracy goes there with a 19.16. We're familiar with him on Intensity Broadcasting from the Thundershook Super Series late model series that competes during the off-season wintertime from racing. Corey Bigley, another driver that actually competes in that series. He is a real-life racer, part of the esteemed Bigley family out of the state of Florida, super late model racing. So we'll see what kind of time he can turn, see if he can dethrone Eric Tracy. He'll go to 16th on the first lap. It seems like so far, your second lap is your money lap. Not many people have been faster on their first lap. Got Andrew Wamsley out of Mansfield, Ohio. I heard they're reopening their speedway with efforts from Matt Tift. Dylan Bates makes it to the top of the board with a 19.12. He's 400ths faster now than Eric Tracy. At this point, we've had 36 drivers qualify, so still nobody would be finding themselves below the cut yet. But drivers like Andrew Wamsley in 36th, Peter Fisher in 37th, have got to be getting pretty nervous that they may find themselves below the cut line after more people hit the board. And we still have plenty more that need to go onto the track and qualify. Jackson Lewis, Caleb Hall, who was on the top of the board in practice, Tanner Bethea, Kenny Brady, Jackson Crowder. Saw Peyton Howell get up to second. Just missed Dylan Bates' lap time, only 100th slower. And we officially have 40 cars that have now qualified. So at the moment, Peter Fisher is on the cutoff to be knocked out of the top 40. Tanner Bethea, Jackson Crowder, Kenny Brady all have a shot to knock him out. Caleb Hall, on his second lap, goes to second with a 19.12. Was less than 100th off of Dylan Bates, just missed his lap time. While we see Jackson Lewis gets to fourth. I mean, this field is so tight. Right now, the top 10 is only separated by a 10th. We do now have our first 3 drivers knocked out of the top 40. Aaron Ward, Andrew Wamsley, and Peter Fisher all will be doing DNQing after getting knocked out of the top 40. Drew Brown on the racetrack has a shot to knock David Hill out of the top 40 as well. And just as I say that, qualifying will wrap up. So we officially have our field now. Top 40 will be on the racetrack. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. And looks like things actually changed. Wait a minute, I'm looking at the interval, and it looks like Caleb Hall and Dylan Bates ran the exact same lap time. So it came down to the 10,000ths of a second to get Caleb Hall on the pole with a 19.120. He said, I showed up to win practice only. Well, he wins qualifying as well for your pole and season opener. Dylan Bates will be second. Peyton Howell third in the unrivaled esports machine. Fourth is the 44 of Kenny Brady. And rounding out your top 5, it is Jackson Crowder. Sixth will be the 77 of Jackson Lewis. Seventh is Eric Tracy in the 66. Eighth is the 67 of Tanner Bethea. Ninth is Tad Douglas in the 41. And rounding out your top 10, it's the 22 Velocity Motorsports driver of Kieran Church. 11th, it's going to be Generator Source Racing's Larson Parker in the 18. 12th will be the 28 of Corey Bigley. 13th, Adrenaline Motorsports is Bladen Edwards in the 72. 14th is the 170 of AJ Rogers. 15th, Jacob Boehm. 16th, Bill Tomer. 17th, Eric Myers. 18th is Scott Negus. 19th is Dylan Schreiner. And rounding out your top 20, it's Will Drevicke. 21st is Elliot Carlson. 22nd, Mike Alexander. 23rd is Matthew Barkhouse. 24th will be Brady Weileman. Running at your top 25, it's J.J. McCrae. 26th is Todd Guerin. 27th, Aaron Abendroth. 28th, Josh Oswald. 29th, Colby Bryant. And 30th, William Griffith. Then 31st, it's going to be Caleb Hill. 32nd, Shane Klein. 33rd, Corey Boudinot. 34th, Jason Dinsmore. 35th, Denver Traves. 36th, Tyler Rice. 37th, Jason Lotridge. 38th, it's Tim Weinreich. 39th, Zachary Onan. And 40th is David Hill. And your drivers that will not be making the field, it is Aaron Ward, Andrew Wamsley, Peter Fisher, Jeff By Jr., Drew Brown, Heath Smith, and Charlie Widner. They will have another shot at making the field next week. See, Charles Balance says on Facebook, is that you, Atlee? Yes, it is. Exciting to be calling the ITZR ARCA series here tonight. Thanks for tuning in, Charles. Good to see you. And here we go. We are pacing. Drivers will get 2 laps to get some heat in their tires, because they are going to want some as they dive all the way in to turns 1 and 2. North Wilkesboro, very, very funky. Got to try to make sure I'm remembering it correctly. But the front straightaway is downhill. So you are going downhill into turns 1 and 2, and then that back straightaway is going to be going uphill. So very unique racetrack, and we will see how it will go. Caleb Hall, Dylan Bates, your front row. A new season is on the horizon. It's time to go. Pace car makes that hard left turn onto pit road. 125 laps. Who will win? We are underway for the ITZR ARCA Series season. Caleb Hall, Dylan Bates side by side into turns 1 and 2. Hall has the good run on the preferred groove on the bottom of the racetrack, and he gets clear of Dylan Bates. Now Bates, Howell side by side. Howell pulls ahead with a nose off of turn number 4, and he will clear that 91 by the time they reach turns 1 and 2. Now Howell looks to the high side, trying to see if he can make some moves to get by Caleb Hall. We're 3 wide down the backstretch. Bates, Brady, Crowder, they are crowding each other, and we got a caution flag out now. First caution of the race. Take a look exactly at what happened. Looks like that wasn't the only place where we were 3 wide on the field. Here is Todd Guerin and Brady Weileman, along with the 30 car of Will Drevicke. And that gap closed up quick. See, the 88 gets into the left rear of Drevicke, sending him sideways. He gets into the 47. And it is just a mess there on the backstretch. See, Weileman is able to keep rolling. I don't know if he will get sent to the back there with an EOL. But nonetheless, not a good start to the race for those three competitors. Caleb Hall had the lead when the caution flag came out, with Peyton Howell, Jackson Crowder in third, Dylan Bates fourth, and Kenny Brady in fifth. And so far, we're only 2 laps in, and things are already elbows out.
Oh yeah, well, short track racing is often that way, and I was expecting it to happen on about lap 1 there, but they kept it clean through the first couple laps, or at least the first lap it was clean, and then it, then the wreck happened. But I don't know if they're gonna be any retirements from that. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, you can only tempt fate for so long before things start to happen. Looks like Todd Guerin and Will Drevicke are both on pit road getting their respective damages fixed. But nothing looks to be too bad. They will both get put down a lap or 2 and will have to make their way up through the field trying to hope for a lucky dog to get their lap back. But we are getting lined back up side by side. Looks like caution laps are counting. So at this point, we are lap 6 of 125. It's going to be Caleb Hall on the bottom, Peyton Howell on the top. Behind him, it is Jackson Crowder, Dylan Bates, Kenny Brady. It looks like the yellow has been delayed as we get back single file. Or looks like, are we doing a single file restart? We may be doing that. That is... And we are single file restart. We get back going here at North Wilkesboro, and that allows Caleb Hall to quickly get a lead over Peyton Howell, who is now under attack from Jackson Crowder. As they reach turn number 2, though, we see Howell is able to shut the door. Crowder trying to hold off Dylan Bates in fourth, who gets underneath him. He is to that left rear, now to the door. They are side by side, down to the start-finish line. And that is our first clean lap in the books. Drivers registering times. We see Tanner Bethea right now, fastest lap of the race in the Peppa Pig machine. He is 7th right now, trying to see if he can track down Jackson Lewis for 6th. Elsewhere, Dylan Bates underneath Kenny Brady for that 4th place spot. And North Wilkesboro is unique compared to other short tracks, as we see Brady is able to get by Bates for that 4th place spot. Lewis trying to do the same. North Wilkesboro is unique from other short tracks because of its nature. You can actually get pretty good runs on the outside. Like, if you get on the outside, you are not completely a dead bug, and you can potentially get a good run off the corner as long as your car has drive off. Once that right rear starts to go away, you may have trouble running that top side, but as long as that right rear is still underneath you, then I feel like you should be able to hold your own on the top side and carry some good runs, which we've been seeing so far.
You're kind of seeing that with Tanner Bethea and even Jackson Lewis. They're using that high line, and they're getting racy with it.
Yeah, we see Tanner Bethea right now trying to keep up with Dylan Bates. Bates, not the start to the race that he has wanted. He has already fallen 5 spots as he tucks in line in behind Bethea. But so far, we see Peyton Howell trying to get by his fellow Toyota. Top 2 right now are Toyotas. He got into Hall's bumper through 3 and 4, and there we go. There we see Peyton Howell trying to be high side and handsome. See if he can get a good enough run. Maybe taps the outside wall a little bit, Alpha 2, slowing down his momentum. He keeps up, though, off of 4, putting a ton of pressure on Caleb Hall. Taps it again. He is giving it all she's got off the corner. Crossover move through 1 and 2 now underneath the 41. We see Hall still with the nose on the outside, but Powell clearly has the faster Toyota Camry. Hall able to clear him, though, off the corner. Howell will get a really strong run in and through the middle. Just does not have the drive off to get the 41 completely off the corner. And as these two battle, we see it could become a 3-horse race, as here comes Jackson Crowder in the 26th. Jackson Lewis says, hey, I want to join the party as well. And these 4 are getting away from 5th place competitor Kenny Brady. Howell needs to make a move quick because at this point, it's very difficult to play offense and defense at the same time. You kind of want to focus on one.
Well, before long, they're going to have some lap traffic to deal with here, too.
Yeah, we do see in the distance, I believe that is William Griffith, Todd Guerin. They are beginning to come into frame as, oh my gosh, this is just a complete slobber knocker for these positions behind Caleb Hall. Jackson Crowder, we see a bunch of cars shooting down pit road at a very inopportune time. Luckily, no harm, no foul. We stay green flag racing. Hall gets into the, we see Howell gets into Hall's door off of turn number 2. They keep it side by side, and it's side by side behind him. Jackson Lewis, Jackson Crowder, are you not entertained here in the season opener of the ITZR ARCA Series? Peyton Howell really putting a ton of pressure on Caleb Hall.
Almost 3 wide there. They're thinking about it. That would have been a gutsy call to go 3 wide there at the lead.
Yeah, they've already tempted fate a few times, like we mentioned. Our one and only caution we've had thus far was after multiple cars went 3 wide, and I heard that Jackson Lewis goes way up the racetrack. Everybody is just slipping, sliding around. This is the exact kind of racing you want to see. You got to wonder, though, all of these drivers pushing no holds bar through these first laps. Are they going to have enough left when it gets to 25, 30 laps to go? And I don't know, that right rear or right front, whatever they're burning off, that's going to be screaming. There's your 3 wide. Jackson Crowder sends it 3 wide on the bottom. Jackson Lewis on the top. Peyton Howell in the middle. Howell smartly backs out of it, saying, hey, I want no part of that. I want a clean Toyota Camry to keep it with me for the rest of this race. And one driver who loves to see all this is Caleb Hall, because the more that everybody battles behind him, the more he can try to maintain his lead.
I am amazed at how urgent they're racing. It's 125 laps, but they're driving like it's the final 15 laps here today. And that's the season opener for you. The season opener is going to bring that kind of excitement. These drivers, they're putting on a show right now.
We saw Jackson Lewis and Jackson Crowder. They were able to get to first by Caleb Hall.
Wide for 3rd. Lap traffic's really mixing it up here now.
Yeah, it's really hard not to focus on anywhere else in the field when we've got all of this going on right up front. It's the battle of the Jacksons. Jackson Crowder, Jackson Lewis for that first place spot. They door each other through 1 and 2. 3 wide behind them. Peyton Howell, Kenny Brady, Caleb Hall. I mean, what is going on? This urgency is very interesting to see, considering we still have 100 laps left in this race. I don't know. The one question that I do not know or cannot confirm, I think you would know if you looked into the info tab on iRacing. I really don't know if these guys have a set of tires. If so, then yeah, I would 100% race like this, because if a caution comes out, the whole field can come in, change their set of tires. But if not, you've got 1 set of tires for this whole race. I mean, why race this hard?
Well, actually, it shows, if I'm reading this right, unlimited tire sets for the race.
Oh,
so
jeez.
that could really mix things up here tonight.
Yeah, so any conversations or any comments I made about tire saving, I take that back. At this point, yeah, race this hard. Try to get those spots. Try to get that track position, because you know that later in this race, if we have a mid-race caution or a late-race caution, you're going to see some tire strategy really come into play. But this battle for the lead has really calmed down. Now we have a Chevrolet at the point. Jackson Crowder in the 26th. Jackson Lewis is in 2nd. Peyton Howell trying to make a pass for 2nd now. He is in 3rd. Kenny Brady in 4th. Caleb Hall 5th. See Dylan Bates 6th. Tanner Bethea in 7th. Eric Tracy 8th. 9th is Kieran Church. And Larson Parker rounds out your top 10. What a race it has been so far. Yeah, Tim gets in the comments and confirms unlimited tires. So it's actually unlimited tires only this week. So this will not be the case for the rest of the season, but just for this week, tires are unlimited. And I'm sure these drivers are glad to have those extra general tires. ARCA runs the general tires contrary to the rest of the NASCAR series, so they might be a little bit expendable for them. Although, if we do go green flag the rest of the way, might want to start thinking about saving a little bit. Jackson Crowder beginning to catch lap traffic. There is Will Drevicke, and as I say that, we have a caution flag come out. I do want to apologize for some of the blinking. It's just, this is a massive field of cars. It's a lot for the servers to keep up with. Okay, so moving forward will be one set, not unlimited. Appreciate the information, Tim. Tim was one of the drivers that attempted to qualify for tonight. So we are watching right now Caleb Hall? Let me see. There he is. Oh, no. He was leading for a lot of this race. We see he drives it in deep underneath Dylan Bates. And just looks like pushes up the racetrack into a little bit. Bates wasn't giving him a ton of room either. And the 41 just goes sideways through the grass. Tanner Bethea having to do some ninja moves to get around him. Kieran Church barely misses him. Tough break for Caleb Hall, who was having such a strong race in that 41 Napa Auto Parts Toyota Camry. He ends up, though, up against that inside wall, and here we go. Pit stops underway. Everybody on pit road. And we do see some varying strategies. It's Corey B in the 34. He stays out. So does Denver Traves. So does Aaron Abendroth. And so does Tyler Rice. All, as I say that, we see Abendroth dips off. But now it's Corey B, Denver Traves, Tyler Rice. All three of them stay out. And then it's Jackson Crowder who won the race off of pit road. Peyton Howell, Larson Parker. And we see even more varying strategies there. Looks like Jackson Crowder took 4. Howell took 4. Parker took 2. Kenny Brady took 4. AJ Rogers took 2. Lewis took 4. Dylan Bates took 4. And Tanner Bethea took 4. So we see 3 different strategies kind of playing out where we've got no tires, 2 tires, 4 tires. And it's going to be interesting to see what strategy will prevail. We see Josh Oswald is your recipient of the lucky dog. Currently sits 32nd. So still 32 cars are on the lead lap. That's 32 drivers that still have a shot at winning this race. And with the shakeup with these tires, anything can happen now.
Oh, they're actually going to go double file for this restart. I didn't know you could actually switch back and forth like that.
Yeah, looks like admin has hotkeys to kind of change that and keep up with it, but look at this. Corey B, Denver Traves, your front row, and looks like not the start that Traves wanted on the bottom. That gets the bottom lane stacked up. Peyton Howell sends it 3 wide. So does Jackson Crowder. He sent it through the middle, and Jackson Crowder quickly works his way through the old tires and gets back to the lead, resuming where he was before that caution. Oh, car around off of 4. He saves it. What a stack up. And the field is just, wow. There we go. Caution flag now hitting the racetrack. I didn't think that would last for long with how everything was going on. That was nuts. And we see, who is that? Bladen Edwards. Bladen Edwards looks like going through 3 and 4, just completely sideways. He's able to save it, but he keeps falling back and falling back. We see there's Matthew Barkhouse in the John Deere, and oh, so we see that 18 going around on the front stretch. That was Larson Parker, and there we go. Bladen Edwards gets into the 0-0 of Jacob Boehm, and then it's just a complete stack up on the front stretch. Kieran Church is involved, and not the incident that we wanted to see. A lot of top drivers getting stacked up in that one. So at the moment, we're really seeing the four tire strategy prevail. All of them make up your top 9 positions. except for Tyler Rice, who is in 6th place. He still has not gotten a set of tires. Then looking further back, Larson Parker, Eric Myers, AJ Rogers all took 2. We have a few drivers on pit road getting damage fixed and possibly taking tires as well when in Rome. But a lot of top drivers up front got involved in that one. I mean, they were racing as hard as they were the first lap. I mean, with these unlimited tire sets, it's making things interesting.
Yeah, the first caution definitely kind of switched this race around a little bit. I guess that was technically the second caution. First big caution after a long run, and now we'll see how things go. It's gonna get chaotic here, I believe.
Oh, Jacob, looks like your mic is muted. I don't have you there.
I think there we go. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, no,
Looks like we will be opting to go back single file. It's going to be Jackson Crowder, Peyton Howell, Kenny Brady, Jackson Lewis, and Tanner Bethea. Green flag is back in the air, and we are back racing here at North Wilkesboro Speedway, opting for a single file restart once again. And so far, everybody is staying single file, at least in the front half of the field. Peyton Howell quickly closes the gap between himself and Jackson Crowder. It's Kenny Brady in 3rd. Jackson Lewis staying in 4th. And there goes Tanner Bethea looking underneath that 77 for the 4th place spot. Right now, top 5 getting away from the rest of the field. There goes Tyler Rice falling back, as he only has 4 tires underneath him. The 4 tires that he started with did not come in and get brand new tires. He will kind of throw the anchor out with those older tires. So top 5 single file right now. This is probably the tamest racing that we have seen so far up front. Drivers minding their P's and Q's, maybe taking some notes of the last few cautions that we've seen, wanting to avoid repeating any of that. But at the moment, we see it's a big cluster right behind them, drivers trying to work their way back up through the field. See, it's Eric Tracy up there. He is side by side with Tyler Rice again on those older tires, falling back and kind of holding up some other drivers from working their way up through the field. Same thing with drivers who may have took 2 tires, took them a little bit longer to fire off compared to those who took 4. Almost 3 wide there down the backstretch. Still a lot of urgency in this mid-pack as drivers try to get track position. There's Peyton Howell shooting to the top side of Jackson Crowder. He wants to make sure that he can get this position quickly and control the race, because right now Jackson Crowder has been setting that pace.
Peyton Howell is showing some
Peyton Howell, Jackson Crowder have been 2 of the fastest cars all day long. We're battling right up there with Caleb Hall, who unfortunately, after leading a lot of this race, has found himself down in the 26th position.
What's impressing me with Peyton Howell here is the fact that he can go high and go low, and it seems like he's got the speed, but that pass is just it's hard to materialize.
Peyton Howell shooting back underneath Jackson Crowder through 3 and 4. Crowder, like I mentioned, once you're on that top side, you're not completely a dead bug. The person on the bottom really has to work for it if they want to get by you, and that's what Peyton Howell is trying to do right here. And these 2 are also coming up on lap traffic. We see one of them dips off down onto pit road. While these 2 battle it, slowing both of them down, Kenny Brady is catching them in the 44. So we see some contact is made. Peyton Howell loses some momentum, And Kenny Brady jumps to the chop to try to take advantage of that. So right now, Brady looking underneath Peyton Howell. They're coming up on lap traffic, which is none other than Caleb Hall, who once was leading the field. Now he's getting lapped by the field. Very unfortunate turn of events for car 41. I'm sure not the way that he wanted to start his opening night. We see some significant damage to that Camry from earlier in the night.
And that right there is 26.
He will want to forget this race and move on. They're also coming up on, not quite sure who that is. Look at, oh, that's the 00 of Jacob Boehm. We see Crowder able to make it by him. Peyton Howell trying to see if he can use that lap car as a pick. He gets a ton of momentum on the outside. And that'll keep Kenny Brady clear of him. Now for second, Jackson Lewis shoots down to the bottom to try to get by Peyton Howell for third. Right now, top 8 or so single file. It's pretty much the top 7. And then after that, there's a very big gap to the next car. So at this time, let's do a flyby through the field. See where your favorite driver is running at the moment. Again, Jackson Crowder in the lead. Kenny Brady second. Peyton Howell is third. Jackson Lewis fourth. Tanner Bethea fifth. Dylan Bates sixth. Corey Bigley seventh. It's Larson Parker in 8th, Eric Tracy 9th, it's Eric Myers in 10th, Dylan Schreiner in 11th, Bladen Edwards in 12th, AJ Rogers is 13th, Bill Tomer 14th, Mike Alexander 15th, JJ McCrae 16th, Colby Bryant 17th, Josh Oswald 18th, Aaron Abendroth 19th, it's Corey Bean 20th, Matthew Barkhouse in 21st, Denver Traves in 22nd, Kieran Church 23rd, Tyler Rice, 24th. Elliot Carlson, 25th. Caleb Hall, 26th. Todd Guerin, 27th. Shane Klein, 28th. Scott Negus, 29th. Tad Douglas, 30th. Jacob Boehm, 31st. And that will do it for your 31-car field. 31 total cars on the racetrack right now. And we have 25 cars on the lead lap. So, at this point, still lots of opportunity to work your way up through the field. But if we don't get another caution, you might want to start being conscious of your tires a little bit if you do not have an opportunity to come back in and get another set. So top 5 still keeping things pretty tame, although everybody is bumper to bumper, just waiting for the right opportunity to make a move. Lewis thought about going outside there, but nothing comes to fruition as he tries to make it by Peyton Howell in 4th. And your top 5, I mean, it's pretty much been your top 5 for most of this race, not too much moving and shaking. So far, your biggest mover of the race, hard charger, I guess you could say, is Corey B in that 19th position. He started this race in the 33rd position, now into the top 20 and 19th, so a very solid run for Corey B in that 34. Biggest faller, that is definitely Caleb Hall, was your pole sitter, and now finds himself in the 26th position, 1 lap down. Very tough break for car 41. We see some significant damage to that machine. And definitely wants to just scratch this race and move on for the rest of the season. Just kind of one of the races where you forget about it and just move forward. That's all you can do.
Nice,
I mean, when you have a season this long, and as I say that, a chance to complete that thought because we have a yellow flag out on the racetrack. I saw somebody slow on the top of the racetrack. We'll see exactly what happened. So we are going to be, let's see here. There's we go. So we got Todd Guerin 3 wide with Traves and Bame, and Guerin just moves up the racetrack into Traves. Traves, that pushes Traves up into Bame. We see now Bame and Guerin sideways through the corner. Both of them all the way up on the top of the racetrack. Luckily, out of the racing groove, and they don't really move from there. 01 barely squeaking through. So that is what brings us under our next yellow of the evening. Pit stops. Pit stop time is going on. We had some green flag pit stops, varying strategies, and big risk there for Corey Bigley. He takes 2 and gets a ton of track position, now putting him in the lead. Then Jackson Crowder took 4, Kenny Brady 4, Peyton Howell 4, Lewis 4, Bethea 4, Bates 4, Eric Tracy 4, Dylan Schreiner 4, and Larson Parker 4. So at this point, Corey Bigley is going to really see how and all of us, we're going to really get to see the difference between 2 tires versus 4. Because Corey Bigley, very stout competitor, certainly knows his way around a racetrack. But can he hold off all of these drivers with 4 tires? That is the question.
It looks like maybe we're going to go double file yet again here. As it's going to be Bigley and Crowder leading them to the restart.
Going single file restart, double file. And here we go, Jackson Crowder, Corey Bigley. We are back underway past the halfway point, and the charge to the finish begins. There goes Crowder, sending it 3 wide into the left rear. Bigley goes up the racetrack into Howe. Here comes the 44 of Kenny Brady going underneath those 2. Brady now fighting with Howell for second. Howell with the nose on the top end. Jackson Crowder cruising away in car 26, getting back to the race lead. He has been the leader for a majority of this race. It's going to be very hard to beat car 26. Behind your front 2, it's Tanner Bethea and Kenny Brady side by side. Bethea on the top, Brady on the bottom. And they are practically equal as they cross the start-finish line. Neither driver giving the other an inch. Both of them want this 3rd place spot. And that'll be Tanner Bethea able to get clear of Kenny Brady. That puts him 1 step closer to Peyton Howell in 2nd place. Peyton Howell in pursuit of Jackson Crowder for this race lead. There goes Howell to the top side, trying to see if he can make it work up against the wall. Seen a few drivers be able to make it work.
Bethea's definitely just been
field starting to clear itself out. And Peyton Howell last time by just ran the fastest lap time of the race. So that 52 is very, very quick. We just got to see if he has enough to make it by the 26, because looking at all of the tracks on the schedule, I would say that North Wilkesboro is probably going to be one of the hardest to pass at, just because both of those lanes can work, and you kind of get yourself at a standstill when you find yourself side by side with somebody else. You see Corey Bigley continues to fall back with those 2 tires underneath him. You see Eric Tracy getting by him in the 66. He is able to clear him right there off of 4. And caution flag in the air. See what happened. We're looking at Dylan Schreiner in the 92. Off of 4, he's side by side with Bladen Edwards. We see Tracy Bigley in front of him. And Edwards just up the racetrack. He hooks him in the left rear. And that sends Schreiner sideways down the front stretch. We see Edwards into the inside wall. Schreiner as well. And that will send both of them towards the rear of the field. As I say that now, we see Schreiner keeping it in the top 10. Bladen Edwards does go down pit road, though. So no major takers on pit road. Everybody content with their current tires underneath them, except for Corey Bigley. Oh, excuse me. Nope, he's still out there in 8th. Matthew Barkhouse also on 2 tires. Other than that, I mean, we saw pretty much 4 tires, way to go, will automatically prevail over 2 tires, and certainly no tires. So let's take a quick look here under caution at your top 10. It's Jackson Crowder in 1st, Peyton Howell 2nd, it's Tanner Bethea 3rd, Kenny Brady 4th, Jackson Lewis 5th, it's Dylan Bates in 6th, Eric Tracy 7th, Corey Bigley 8th, Larson Parker 9th, and Dylan Schreiner is in 10th. Lights on the pace car are off. We are getting ready to go back green here at North Wilkesboro. It's going to be Peyton Howell on the bottom. Jackson Crowder chooses the top, which really goes to show you just how strong that top is if whoever restarts up there makes the choice to go up there. Because you can have that arc into the corner. You can pinch the driver beneath you on the bottom. If you have good drive off, you can get a good run as well. And here we go. We are back under green. Peyton Howell, Jackson Crowder, Kenny Brady. Got a little less than 50 laps to go here in this one. There goes Kenny Brady shooting down to the bottom. He doors the 26 all the way up the racetrack. Brady wants that first place spot. He wants control of the field. We see Jackson Crowder fighting back on the high side. Both driver fighting tooth and nail for this first place spot. Behind them, it's Peyton Howell, Dylan Bates side by side. And then Tanner Bethea, Jackson Lewis. Battles all throughout the field. How will they shake out?
Some more contact there. The gloves are definitely coming
Kenny
off.
Brady still holding strong underneath Jackson Crowder. Crowder's just getting a better run on the top. Just doesn't have enough to get clear of the 44.
Things getting very physical here. Almost 3 wide for the lead. As
Brady keeping it
52.
right on Crowder's rear quarter panel. And caution flag is out just as they continue to battle.
I'm excited for each restart now. All these restarts are...
Corey B in an incident. He was our biggest mover of the race. And again, Bladen Edwards underneath him. And actually, this happened farther in front. Looks like Tyler Rice is around. Colby Bryant, and he goes right up into Corey B there, sending both of them into the outside wall. Tough break for Corey. Again, mentioned biggest mover of the race so far. And it is a busy place on pit road, and once again, varying strategies coming into play. We'll see who wins the race off of pit road. That's Jackson Lewis beating Crowder off pit road. And so, let's take a look at what's going on here now. What is the storyline? Storyline is this. The top 8 are on older tires. And then we see 9th, 10th, and 11th, Carlson, Church, Abendroth. They are on 4 stickers. Jackson Lewis is on 2 stickers. Crowder, Brady, and Howell, they are on 4 stickers. So, once again, old tires, new tires. And no tires. 2 tires, 4 tires, no tires. Sounding like a Dr. Seuss book. We'll see how long those with older tires can hang on. I mean, they only have about 13 laps older tires. But on a short track, abrasive short track like North Wilkesboro, that makes all the difference. So it'll be Eric Tracy and Corey Bigley, your front row. Again, both of them on old tires. And actually, Eric Tracy is on 13 lap 4 stickers, while Corey Bigley is on 13 lap tires and then older tires on the left side. So pace car is in. Green flag is back in the air. There's Eric Tracy taking off, trying to get clear of Corey Bigley by the time they reach turns 1 and 2. Corey Bigley, though, hanging on the outside, just as we've seen all race long. And already we're coming up on some lap traffic. There's Caleb Hall that they're coming up on. We see behind Tracy, it's Larson Parker and Corey Bigley battling it out. Bigley with the run on the outside. We see Parker stronger through the middle, but then good drive off for Bigley. He's able to get clear of the 18. So that'll knock Larson Parker down to 4th. We're side by side for 4th right now. Matthew Barkhouse, AJ Rogers. Barkhouse with the nose on the top. Get a little nudge there on the left rear from Barkhouse, trying to open up a pass. Right by them is the 75 of Mike Alexander. But it's still Eric Tracy hanging on to the race lead, but Corey Bigley all over his back bumper. So far, Fresh Tires has made his way up to 9th. The farthest up on Fresh Tires is Dylan Bates. He's on 4 stickers. I actually take that back. Jackson Lewis on 4 stickers is up to 7th now. Excuse me, he's on 2 stickers. Very confusing. I definitely see how tough it would be to be in the NASCAR booth during fuel mileage races or tires races, keeping track of all the strategies, because certainly have a lot of that going on right now. And you can kind of hear the Jaws theme as Jackson Lewis continues to work his way up through the field with those 2 stickers. He had the track position and he's taking advantage of it, although Dylan Bates is right behind him and he's on 4 stickers. So Eric Tracy, oh, big loose off of 2 for Corey Bigley. Car just came out from underneath him, and as I say that, back under caution. Let's take a look what happened. Looks like Matthew Barkhouse. He was on older tires. We see Kenny Brady underneath him. He was on newer tires. Behind them, Eric Myers and Peyton Howell. And as they go into turn number 2, looks like maybe something happens. Entry of 3. And looks like that was actually not where the caution was. So,